Hey Ramblers, this is Glenn, Blue Rambler Photo. I don't think I really explained the process of getting the film roll into your developing tank via the darkroom bag. So we're going to take a little bit extra time to kind of go through a little bit more and explain about what that situation is like. So we're going to sacrifice a roll of film. Now remember what I said. Remember Glenn's PowerPoint. Do not, for the love of God, do not expose the film that you just shot to light before it's developed, because you're going to ruin it. Film is light sensitive. See this little bit of film? See a little bit of film right there? Okay, that's exposed to light. That means that film is ruined. That's okay, because usually when we load it into a camera, you do that. Oh, now that film is ruined. But this is the part that we load in the camera and it swirls out, or you do it manually, however your camera works. In order to show you how to load the rolls, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sacrifice Mr. Wolfman 35. There's a roll of 35 millimeter that I've had kind of like lying around for a little while. So we're going to sacrifice this as a tutorial because again, most of the stuff that you're going to do is going to be inside the bag in complete darkness. 100% darkness. Don't do it in a closet. You've got a little bit of light coming through the bottom of the door. It's going to fog your film. It's going to ruin your roll. Make sure you have a light, tight environment. Okay. Let's say we get everything. So what you're going to do is you're going to throw everything in here. See, this has a zipper. We got our developing tank. Got our stainless steel rolls. Remember, if you're new to this, you want to pick up a Patterson tank. Because if you're just starting out, it's going to be a little bit easier for you to, and we'll talk about the difference between loading film in a second. So the thing that you need to get your roll in a light, tight environment from there into your developing tank, you're going to need the can opener, you're going to need the scissors, okay? And you throw all of this stuff in here. You throw it all in there and you zip it up. You fold this down. Everything in here is in a light, tight environment. Even though we got little sleeveys that we're going to put our armies in, where do generals keep their armies? In their sleeveys. Even though we got little sleeveys, it's still going to be light, tight. But this is how we're going to do it. We're going to reach into here. We're going to reach into here. And in complete darkness, without the benefit of looking at anything, by the power of feel itself, you're going to undo the tank, you're going to open up the film canister, you're going to cut the lead, you're going to load the film, you're going to reattach the lid so your film development tank is light tight again. You're going to do all that completely blind, right? You're going to do all that like this. And then when it's all done, when you're absolutely sure that your tank is light tight, you're going to open this up. And you can take everything out. Your film would be in here in practice. And then you're going to have a canister that you're going to throw away. And you want to get your scissors out. You want to get your can opener out. And then you want to fold this back up and put it away in a nice place, cool place, until you need it again to load more film. So now let's show you what that's going to look like. Now remember, we're doing this only as a demonstration. Do not expose the film to light. we're playing pretend that this is what's going on in the darkroom bag. Okay, so you can imagine that we're doing this with everything within the contents of the bag. So we've got our reels ready. What we want to do is we want to open up the film. So usually you can just open this up. Okay, and then you can just be able to push that right out. There we go. That becomes trash. Just put it aside in the bag. But now, this is the roll that we have to work with. Okay, so again, in the dark, what you're gonna do, you're gonna take your scissors and then you're going to cut the lead right here. Okay, we're gonna take your scissors and we're gonna cut the lead. And then we're gonna try to load the film onto the reels. I'm gonna bring my little camera down a little bit more. Okay. I moved the camera, so hopefully this is going to be a little bit easier to see. So, if you see in here, I don't know how well you can see it, there's a little clip, and the film gets loaded into here, and then it gets rolled out. See that little groove right there? That little groove, and then that starts to roll. You're gonna take the film, you're gonna put it, you're gonna bend it just a little. Ooh, really important tip. Try not to, here, another one of Glenn's PowerPoints. Try to avoid touching the film as much as possible. You can touch the edges, but don't touch the actual film. You don't want to get fingerprints on the film. Okay, so touching the film, that's bad. So we're going to be loading this to something like this. We're going to kind of push it in there to where it kind of sticks. I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to push it in there to where it kind of sticks. We're going to bend the film just a little bit. And in theory, the film is going to start you're going to bend the film just a little bit. You're going to put a little bit of tension on there. And then you're just going to start rolling the film that way. Okay? Start rolling the film. And that's all that is. There's enough space in these spacers to where the film shouldn't touch itself. One part of the film should not be in contact with any other part of the film. All the film should be separate, and there should be enough space here to separate the whole roll. Okay, so that the chemical is allowed to flow through the entire roll. If at any point it feels like the film is not going right, if it feels like the film is getting kinked, or it feels like the film is not setting in the rails right, take it off and try it again. Because again, it's going to be better for you to make sure that the film is on the roll correctly rather than develop wrong and ruin the film. Okay, but then we just do this, we keep rolling, and that's it until you load the entire roll. But anyway, that's how you load the film onto your stainless steel roll. Now, just for funsies, let's show you the powders. No. Just for funsies, let's show you the Patterson tank. Okay, so the Patterson tank, you're gonna open up. You're gonna have, this is to agitate the film. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And this is, again, it honestly doesn't feel like it's light tight, but I assure you that it is. Okay, so we're gonna put that over there. Now, the fundamental difference here is with the stainless steel, the film starts in the center and moves outwards. With the Patterson tank, the film starts at the outset and works your way inward. Now, you've got two little, I don't know if you can see them, two little notches. Okay, where the little ball bearings are. I don't know if you can see the little ball bearings. There's one right there. And then if you go that way, there's one right there. Okay, So this is where the little notch is, where you load the film. This is where you start the film. You have to manually put it to where it's over the ball bearings. Okay, so that's the most complicated part of this thing. So we take the film, remember, don't touch the film. You're gonna put the film there. You're gonna put it a little bit over. It's gonna be able to feel, you're gonna be able to feel that it's right over that hump, okay? It's gonna be right over the ball bearings. You're gonna be able to feel that, okay? Pull the film maybe a little bit. But then once, here's the cool thing about the Patterson tanks, is once you get this loaded up like this, all you have to do is just this little motion right here. Except, there we go. See that? That's all you're doing. You can load the entire film this way. Just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It's the easiest thing in the world, okay? And this is why so many people, especially people who are new to film, are encouraged to start off with a Patterson development tank, because the loading of the rolls is just so easy. Just literally just twist like that until the whole roll is loaded. And then what's gonna happen is, once you get to the end of the roll, okay, again, you're gonna take your scissors, you're gonna just give a little clip, close to the end as possible, because if you've got a 36 roll, your film's gonna end around right here or so. Okay, it's not like the lead. You know, when you load film into a camera, you know, you've got all that lead that's been exposed to the light as you're loading it. So all that stuff is useless. So when you're cutting, to first load the beginning part, you can cut so much because that's all going to be useless. But at the end, you want to make sure you get cut as close to your end reel as possible. Again, try not to touch the film. Make sure film is all loaded. And there you go. You put that in there. Put a second roll in your other tank. Put it in your tank and you're all set. Just remember, you're doing that all in the darkroom bag. Okay, so that's how we do that. At the end of the process, you should have a development tank filled, either the stainless steel or the Patterson. You should have a development tank filled with rolls ready to be developed. Hopefully that explains that a little bit better. And now, on to the developing. We'll see you in the next video. This is Glenn with Blue Rambler Photo.